Okay, now we learn a little bit more about multiplying, like we did the last time. We were multiplying a fraction with a whole number, and we practice a bit more of that, except that we will now take whole numbers with a fraction, or multiply a mixed fraction with a whole number, like this one here. 6 times 2/3. We saw the trick here. The last time showed you how we did 6 times 2 first. So you multiply the whole numbers, 6 times 2, which is 12, and then you multiply the whole number with the fraction, which means 6 times 3/5. There. So once you've got that, then the answer is 18/5, as we know, and then extract from this an improper fraction. From this improper fraction, extract a whole number and a fraction, and that would be 3 3/5. And then add all the whole numbers up. 12 and 3, that's 15, and that's your answer. 15 3/5. Quite simple, not complicated. Try it again. Try another one. 5 times 3 2/3. Look at the method here. First multiply the whole numbers. That's 5 times 3 is 15. Next multiply the fraction. You repeat 5 times. So 5 times 2/3 is 10/3. Then from 10/3, you take out whatever whole numbers you can get. 3/3 is 1 whole, 6/3 is 2 wholes, and so on. So you can get 3 wholes and a third. So the 3 wholes and 15 altogether, 18 1/3. That's how we multiply. Well, that's one way of multiplying. You can think of other ways. Now let's show you another way, but first see if you can get the hang of this. 6 times 2 3/5. Fill it up. What will you put here in this box? Let me just show you. First you put 6 times 2, which is 12. So that's 12 wholes right there. And then we write 6 times 3. We add that to 6 times 3/5, isn't it? So it's 6 times 3/5. You can think about it 6 times 3/5. So the answer would be, well, you bring this down as it is here and write, what do you write here? What fraction would you write in these two boxes? 18, yes, we add them, of course, to 18/5. That's the answer to this. So we bring this down here, 12, and 18/5. We can extract a whole number out of this, right? And what will that be? What will be as a mixed fraction? You see the 3 boxes here? That's for a whole number and a fraction. That's right, the whole number would be, you add 3 wholes and 3/5. That's what's left. And now here, you add 12 and 3 together, you get 15 3/5. That's the answer. So that's how you add this. If you want to practice this a little bit more, try the next one. 5 times 3 2/3. So first do the whole numbers, 5 times 3, which is 15. And then you repeat 2/3 5 times, so 5 times 2 thirds. Always make sure you're adding them throughout. And so you get 15, and add 10/3. Good. What now? Who can tell me what we do next? What do we write here? 15th, very good. What do we write here? Notice there are 3 boxes. One is for a whole number and a fraction. So this turns into a whole number and a fraction. What would the whole number be? Add 3, very good. And then 1/3. Excellent. So what would this answer be here? How many wholes do we get altogether? 15 and 3 is 18, of course, 1/3, as it was before. Absolutely correct. Excellent. You get the idea? So you can do it this way. And you can also do it another way. So let me show you another way. And this may be pretty handy sometimes. So 4 times 2 3/4. What we do is make 2 3/4, show you 2 3/4 here. And break these all into quarters. So break this into, how many quarters do these two make? Well, they make, if you do 2 times 4, that's These two will make 8 quarters there. And then 3 more quarters. If we add that to 3, we get 11 quarters. So it's like saying 4 times 11 quarters instead of 2 3/4. So we repeat this 4 times. That's 1 here, and then 2, add another 2, another 11 fourths, second time, add another 11 fourths, 3 times, 4 times. So we add 11 fourths 4 times altogether. Now it's all a matter of gathering these together. What we did was this. The answer is 44 fourths if you add them up. 4, 8, and 3, 11, and so forth. So 4 times 2 3/4, what we did was 4 times 11 quarters. And the answer is, of course, 44 quarters. Now it's a question of organizing them or reorganizing them so that you can extract or pull out all the whole numbers. So we can, for instance, we can take, for example, those are the 4 11 quarters. We can distribute the quarters. Those are wholes. These are all wholes. These are all wholes. And we can take a quarter out of this and add them to that. And then this quarter, one of these goes here, and this one goes over there. So we get another hole here, another hole here, and another hole here. So altogether we have 3 and 3 6 and 3 9 and 2 11. 11 holes. That's what we get out of 44 quarters. So that's an interesting way to look at it. Break them into the parts that are shown and then multiply all the small parts. So 3 times 3 1/2. Well, let's take 3 1/2. 3 times 3 1/2. Repeat this. How many times? So break this into halves like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one more, which is 7. So we add one more, we get 7. So this is what we get. 7 halves. So instead of writing 3 times 3 1/2, we write 3 times 7 halves. And we repeat this 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Which means we end up with 21 halves. Do you see that? 21 halves. 3 times 7 halves would make 21 halves. So this is what we did. 3 times 3 1/2 is the same as 3 times 7 halves. Multiply across on top, multiply below across, and then we get 21 halves, which means, look at that, 3 1/2, 3 1/2 right there. These two halves join up to make one whole. And if we bring this over here, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and a half, which is the answer, 10 1/2. 21 halves make 10 1/2. You knew that, right? So that's the way to do these kind of additions. So let's practice here. 3 times 3 1/2. What do we do here? We can write 3 as 3 over 1, which is the same as 3. This we can write as halves. How many halves do we get here? 7 halves. Very good. 3 times 2 is 6 halves in 3 holes and another half. That makes 7 halves. Excellent. Now what do we do? Yes, we multiply across on the top. That's 21. Multiply across to the bottom. 2, that's 21 halves, which means it's 10 holes and a half. Try another one. You're doing good. 4 times 2 3/4. What do we write here? 4 over 1. Very good. And this we write in quarters. That is 4 times 2, and that's good. 11, very good. 11 quarters. Now what do we do? Yes, multiply the numbers across, which is 44. Multiply the numbers below, that's 4. And the answer is 11. That's it. That's how we do multiplication of a whole number with a fraction. Even if it's the whole number is a mixed number. So practice that. Do as many as you can until you get really good at it. And then you're prepared for the next lesson on multiplication. Take care. Have a great day. And remember, keep practicing. Keep doing it over and over again until it turns it's almost like you're an autopilot. You can do it without even thinking. That's when you get to mastery. When you can do things so quickly and so well and so right each time that you got the rest of your mind free to think of other things, more complicated things. Take care. Bye-bye.